Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 2, episode 105. There's so many episodes in Season 2. I will have the number right below, but I hope you guys are doing good today. Shout out to my Texas folks. I heard it is quite cold in some areas of Texas. In Dallas, y'all got snow. So, yeah, it's a lot going on. I hope y'all are warm and in the house. So, child, let's talk about what happened on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So, we'll start with Martellate. Martellate is meeting up with his uncle because Martellate needs some new clothes. He done put on some weight. He actually looks like he's been lifting as well because he looks solid. But I did notice that his clothes was like grabbed up on him real tight. So he needs to go shopping for some new suits. He need about 5 of them. So he's getting measured, but he also is talking to his uncle, who has been like a father figure to him, but looks the same age as him. I was like, how old is he to be your father figure? But they're talking about Martellate's situation with the divorce and how the 47 acres deal has not really gone through because of everything that's been happening with social media, and the public is making him look unfavorable, and thus the investors don't really know if they want to deal with him or want his name on it. And he reverts back to what I said before and kind of says it's all on Mel and it's Mel's fault, and she brought it to social media. She brought it to everybody's attention, and now I'm getting all this bad heat for it. Like, yes, I'm the one that cheated, but she's the one that put it out. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but according to Arian interviews, and I believe Carlos King has also said that they sat down to have a conversation about what the storyline was going to be for season 1 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I do believe that Martell was aware that his cheating was going to be brought up on the show, right? And somebody correct me if I'm wrong. At least Arian has definitely said in interviews, y'all use me for a storyline. You know, y'all paid to have a meeting with Carlos King and y'all used me for a storyline. So I do believe that he was aware that that situation was going to come out. I just think that because they got back together, he didn't think that the blowback would be as harsh. But I think that, you know, they got back together and broke up again because there were still some dealings going on with Arian. And so it has now just gone to what it's gone to. But I do believe he knew that that storyline was going to come out. And he agreed to participate in it, to be on the show. But somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So he's upset that this is all affecting his livelihood, and he doesn't even want to go forward with the 47 acres anyway right now because he doesn't want Mel to get any piece of what he might receive because he feels like she's sneaky and she would go and try to take things. We're going to talk more about their money and businesses in just a moment. But the uncle is just like, look, you need to just try to come out of this unscathed. You need to try to be civil. Y'all need to try to do the best thing that y'all need to do for the children. I know it's a lot going on social media, but you all are, you know, somewhat public figures now, so people are going to be talking. But you just need to try to do this with as much decorum as you can. And the reason why I know a lot of people are not on Martellate's side like he believes they should be is because even his own family and friends, when they're on camera, even they don't really, you know, tend to take Martellate's side when they're speaking to him. So this is how I know everybody is just looking at him like, you know, nah, bro. You know, we done with this. So moving forward from that, I guess we can go on to their conversation since we're already talking about Martellate. So they meet up, him and Melody, they meet up at Holton Holtz, and they're trying to decide what they're going to do with the businesses. My guess is that before the lawyers get too involved, they're going to try to see and what they can work out and resolve civilly themselves, and then, is civilly a word? Civil. What they can work out themselves and then present that to their lawyer to make whatever final judgments need to be made. So, Mel has out her computer. She asks Martellate, can she record the conversation? Martellate's just like, I don't care. Martellate tells her, look, before we get started, let's just agree that we're not going to hit below the belt, that we're going to be nice to each other, that we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. And Melody is just like, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And I was just like, Martellate does get it started. I will admit that. But I also will admit that Mel doesn't always help. Like, I just wanted her to be like, okay, you know, I'm not even going there with you. Let's go straight to the business. But she was just like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? So then they start talking about how he showed out when he came over there to see the kids. And she was like, did you come to see the kids? I didn't really. No, he said he came to talk business, but he also came to see the kids. He don't know what he came to do. He came to argue. He came to argue. So they have a little tiff and back and forth about that. Then they move into Holt and Holt. Okay, he doesn't want anything to do with their business together. So that's that. They start talking about her skincare line, which was Embrace. He wants 15%, even though she believes that he shouldn't get anything, and he doesn't feel like that's fair. I should get something. Then it goes into them both being school teachers and how he put her on and how he's had the ideas and he made her COO and it was his idea to write the book. Like, we've heard this before. I don't think anybody can argue about the fact that Martell did put these ideas onto onto paper, and that it was his idea to get started into these business ventures, and then he put Mel in, and then Mel was the one who kind of took their business to more of an upper echelon era or level, if you will. And I don't think we disagree that Martell was the one who got a lot of the things started. So they end up going back and forth about that. Melody saying that he didn't even really have that many clients. I mean, it was just a lot of back and forth. She ends up crying. Martella says, listen, I have never put you in a position where we didn't have finances. I always gave you the money. I always trusted you to do what needed to be done with it. She said, exactly, you trusted me. Then he take it to, well, I trust a lot of people. I was just like, what? What is we talking about? Y'all just arguing for the sake of be arguing right now. But his point was, don't try to shut me out of making a living and having some type of livelihood because you are mad at me about my cheating. Because I still have to make money so that we can do the best thing for our children, so our children can have the best quality of life. I get all of that. I also get that I don't have businesses and just like a whole lot of money. So I don't like to speak on these kind of things because I actually don't know how they go. I really have no clue. What I would probably do, just from a novice in, I think that I would probably write up everything on paper on my end, have Martell write everything up on paper on his end, and then both of them either present that to a mediator or present that to their lawyer separately and let their lawyers discuss the different terms, and then present those terms that they come up with back to Martella and Melody, because they don't do well with having a conversation when nobody else is there. They don't get anything accomplished. That's just what I see. So I'm not going to say what I think about what they should do with the businesses because I honestly do not know how any of this works. From divorce to I don't know. And I'm not going to pretend. So then he brings up the fact that, well, you talk about me cheating, but you cheated too. You also committed infidelity too. And see, that's what people don't realize. She also was a cheater. Mel says that there was a time where she had her own apartment. She left the home. She was gone for about 4 weeks, and during that time, she was on the phone. She was doing some, what I call entertaining. When you're texting and you're calling people that's not your person, I call that entertaining, okay? And although she was with nobody physically, Martella says she was still wrong. Adultery is adultery, and she was doing it too. Melody did admit to it in the confessionals. Again, she said she was done with him when she did it, but I know contractually she was still married on paper. So, I mean, is that if you are having phone conversations, that's a form of emotional cheating, right? So, yeah, I guess that would, in the eyes of the law, that would be considered cheating as well. Yeah, Martella, but don't nobody care. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I don't think anybody is going to care. I think we're going to see it for what it is, and I don't think anybody is really going to care or feel the need to take Martella's side because they do see what he did as something totally different, which was a 5-year relationship versus 4 weeks worth of phone conversations. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know what y'all want me to say. What y'all want me to say? I'm just telling you how I know people are going to look at it. That's how they're going to look at it. So, Melody is just like, I'm not sitting here and doing this with you anymore. So she get up and leave. And I guess Martella thinks she can't take the heat. She trying to get out the kitchen. So now he following her, talking about money. She took out the account and the joint account and put it in her account and all of this other stuff. I was really glad that she did fall for the gaslighting, but it wasn't as bad as it was outside the house. She did a better job this time because she got up and left. And I think that's for the best. I don't think these two need to try to discuss anything else again. They need to do it through a third party. That's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about that. And let me know what you think about the cheating as well in the 4 weeks worth of text. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, also in that he lets her know that the 47 acres is on hold. He didn't say all that stuff he said with Unc. He just said it was on hold, and that was pretty much it with that. We got not Kimmy. We got Destiny at her hair store. Tisha comes over to visit. I think it's a great idea that she owns a hair store. You know, we definitely need more ownership in that. So she's coming to get a few things to wash the girl's hair, also to invite her to her mommy podcast to discuss being a new mother in the midst of the pandemic. I said, I know that's right, because she got that baby on her chest out in the public, you know, and bringing in customers. I mean, I don't know. I would have been nervous. I would want to leave my baby at home. But she got the baby with her over at work, and they're just talking about being a boss and being a mom. Y'all know how the mommy podcasts go. And she wants her to come on there. So Destiny's definitely trying to come on there. Then they also bring up Kimmy and how Destiny and Kimmy, they still haven't really got it right from that whole chicken comment. I said, I know we ain't still talking about that chicken. We still talk about that chicken. Even at the town hall meeting, they was talking about that chicken. I want them to get past it. I don't want to hear no more about the chicken and her husband. I really do want that to carry, you know, to just play out. So they talk about that, and Tisha's just like, well, actually, y'all probably are a lot alike. And maybe that's why y'all can't really get it together. But she also brings up Mel. Okay, Destiny brings up Mel, and Tisha's just like, you know, I don't talk to Mel. I don't think we're ever really going to get it right. I don't think we're ever going to get to that point. I had a lot of outside people in my ear. She's had a lot of outside people in her ear, and we just don't speak. And who's to say that we're ever going to get that right? I don't think they're going to get it right. So they move on from that. She's going to come to the mommy podcast, and we'll also see Destiny later at Jalen's event. Okay. Then we have Tisha with her husband, Marcel. They are looking at their estate for Scott Manor. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful home from the little bit that we did see and hear them talking about. They're with Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike is architecturing the whole shebang, and she's talking about a playroom, and they kind of going back and forth about that. And Chris shows up. Chris shows up, and this is the guy that Martellett was talking to about the 47 acres and, you know, the deal not really going through with his name on it. So he's talking to Marcel, trying to see if Marcel wants to get in on the deal. And as soon as Marcel heard it was the 47 acres, and when I say 47, I mean the 47 acres, hold the mule, the 47 acres that the comeback group was always talking about. See, I just started itching when I said comeback group. Yeah, Marcel is surprised by this. He was like, wow, it all comes full circle. The 47 acres is back on the table again. So he tells Chris, you know, I'll have to give it some thought. And it's really strange this season. I find myself agreeing with Marcel this season. Even though I definitely do not care for him that much. But Marcel says he just wants to make sure the deal is good. He wants to make sure that it is a project that is building up that area. There are going to be some single family homes. There's going to be some multi-unit homes. And he's interested, but he wants to make sure it's the right deal. So he goes in there and he lets Tisha know that the 47 acres is back. And Tisha's just like, absolutely not. We're not doing it. And Marcel is like, you didn't let me finish. Okay, Martellett is in the deal. The Holtz are involved. However, there's going to be an outside investor coming in. So it's not like we're going to be really working together. It's kind of going to be everybody's doing, I guess everybody is going to be doing some type of investment, but they're not really going to be working together per se. And so then he was just like, if you don't want to do it, throw $30 million down the drain, that's fine. And Tisha's just like, I mean, well, you didn't tell me that the Holtz weren't going to be involved. I thought you were saying that the Holtz was going to be. And he was like, yeah, but you didn't let me finish. All right. So Uncle Mike is just like, okay, so yeah, y'all can talk it out, right? Y'all can figure out if it's going to work for you. Uncle Mike tried to settle it on down so that would be okay. And then they start back looking at the plan. So I guess we're going to see what happens with the 47 acres, Marcel, Martellett, Chris, and the outside investor. What's next? All right, I guess we are, let's talk about Jalen. So Maurice and Jalen are in the office space. Jalen got his measuring tape out. Child. He trying to figure out where he gonna put his couch, where he gonna put his pictures, where he gonna put his tables, where he gonna put his clients. because he has a little office space in the same building that Maurice is in. And so Maurice comes in there. He's just like, okay, this is nice. I see you getting ready for your office. But what you trying to do, though? Like, what's really going on? And so Jalen is just like, well, I want to get into real estate. I want to do this thing with flipping houses. And I'm hoping that, my mom's going to come in and we're going to do it together. And Maurice is, I was really glad that they had this conversation on camera. Number one is because it kind of gave me a little bit more insight into why Kimmy has Jalen working. It also showed me a lot of the thoughts of the viewers and people within our community and kind of how we operate and how we move when it comes to raising our children. I won't even just say the boys, but when it comes to raising our children specifically. So the way that we raise our children. So I feel a couple of ways about this. I am probably going to go in and some of y'all probably not going to like me when I get done, but it's, it's just a difference of opinion. Let's get to it. So when Jalen was talking to Maurice, there were a couple of things that I noticed. And nobody really knows their child like the mama. A mama know their child when they've been around them all the time. And I see why she has Jalen working. Because when Maurice was trying to get to the bottom of why Jalen, even in his spare time, hasn't been looking up real estate stuff, hasn't been trying to learn the trade, hasn't been trying to get around people, he had a bunch of reasons as to why he hadn't been doing anything that he says is his dream. He said he wanted to get involved. He said he wanted to do these things, but when he has time to do them, he hasn't really been putting in any extra effort. And he had a bunch of reasons as to why. I said, this is probably why Kimmy insists that he work. Because if he didn't work, ain't no telling, like, he might be completely dive into the real estate, or he might get lazy, and if your child lazy or not. So I'm not saying he is, but maybe she just sees things in him where he has to stay busy, and that might be the best mode for him. Because everything that Maurice was saying, like, okay, have you been saving up some money for your first business venture? I bought my first house with this amount of money at this time, and I want to see this $1,000 house, by the way. It's probably totally different now. But then he was asking him, in your spare time, are you looking up, something to do with the market? He ain't been doing that. He ain't been saving the money. He ain't really been with Marceau, because Marceau ain't hook him up like he thought he was going to hook him up. He was like, so what? He's busy. Just be around him. Just be there. And he ain't did that. And then with COVID, everything has changed. And I can't do this and I can't do that. And Maurice is just like, listen, you are in a perfect position. You are at the house. You ain't got to pay for nothing. Your education was paid for. You don't have any debt. This is your time. This is time where you need to be working on these things. Then Jalen say, well, you are an entrepreneur, so you think it's just easy and I can't do this. I can't. And Maurice is just like, I understand all that. I understand all that. I didn't tell you to quit your job. What I'm saying is you can work a 9 to 5 and you could be working towards your dream. And I had no problem with what Maurice said. I didn't think it was harsh. I didn't think it was wrong. I didn't think he was coming at him any kind of way. I think he was just trying to instill into him that when you have a dream, you have to go towards your dream. We can't just, while Maurice and Kimmy do probably have more than your average black parent does, they wasn't born with the silver spoon. They only got so many silver platters to give you. At some point, we want to see the work ethic too. And he told them, like, we need to see the effort. I have to see the effort. And if I don't see the effort, then we just going to have to start talking about, do you need to pay some rent? Because we need to see that you're actively working towards the success that you want to have. And the reason why I say I didn't have a problem with it, you guys, is because I hear a lot of talk about, I used to hear this a lot when I was in college too, about African-American families and, oh, y'all just want y'all kids to struggle and y'all just want y'all kids to be like this and be like that. And, these other communities do this and the African continent, people on the African continent do this and people in Asia do this. Let me tell you guys something. And people from the continent, y'all can let me know if I'm wrong. The standards and the structure that are placed in their homes, some of our children couldn't even take that kind of heat. They really couldn't. I used to go to school. I went to college with this girl. She was Nigerian. Most people know Nigerians say doctor, engineer. We could throw lawyer in there, but somewhere around that doctoral plane is where we really want to be, in engineering, computers, stuff like that. She changed her major in college and her parents were completely done. She had to figure out a way to pay it and all this other stuff because she changed it to something artsy and they just wasn't with it. A lot of Kids today would not be able to handle that if their parents are just like, look, if you're not doing what I told you to do and what I'm paying for, we done. Okay? We do give a lot more freedom than these parents from the continent information. So when I hear kids talking about, well, African parents, you know, they support this, and Asian parents, they let their kids do this. Yeah, but you better abide by the structure too. Could you handle the structure that a lot of these homes have? My Asian homegirl used to cry every time report cards came out. She would work in her family's restaurant every evening on the weekends. She could never do anything after school, and she had been doing that since she was 12, and it was expected. You know, a lot of people push their kids in a certain type of way, and sometimes it's not really about struggle, but it's about giving you a certain type of mindset. And I would say that we actually are in the community wise, we are the most free with allowing our children to make certain decisions. And a lot of kids, when they're talking, I'm just like, y'all talking, but y'all have no idea what goes on in some of these other households, and could you really take it? So when I look at Jalen, and when I look at read some of the comments that people were saying that Maurice was harsh and that he shouldn't have came at him like that, I'm just like, well, what do you guys want? Do you want male mentorship in the community, or do you not? Because this is what it looks like. All right, it's not a lot of coddling, it's not a lot of hand holding, it's not a lot of, well, we understand. It's no, you said you wanted it, what are you doing to get it? That's how I feel like he was saying to him. And they was like, well, would he talk to Monster like this? Well, Monster's still actually a kid, but I believe when Monster grows up and graduates college, probably so. And nobody's saying that it's going to be easy. It's not. You do have to put the work in behind it. So before we go comparing ourselves to all these different communities, let's understand that these communities have a tight structure as well, and you do have to abide by it. And if you think what we saw on TV was harsh, I don't think you would be able to handle the heat that's going on in some of these other households. That's all I'm saying. I didn't have no problem with the conversation, because Jalen he did have a reason as to why he hadn't done a lot of the things that he could actively be doing, you guys. And this is part of, you know, pushing the baby bird. Come on. Like, you got to be able to strive on your own. If you're raising your children today to not be in a position to strive on their own, whether they're a male or a woman, to not be able to strive on their own, you are doing them a disservice in this day and age. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Okay, let's move it on. So I went off on a tangent. So we get to his graduation party, and Jalen comes in. He's a little late. I personally think it wouldn't work. I think Jalen didn't want to come, okay? Because the graduation party was her colleagues. It was the celebration with some of her work friends, basically the cast. They already had something with Jalen's friends. They already had something for family. I mean, I'm sure these people have been in Jalen's life, but we all know this was for the show. So they meet up at this place. Jalen comes a little bit later. They gift him with a watch. I guess it might have been a Rolex, and you know, they're getting them on this grown man. They're very proud of him for making it to this point. Let's talk about who I was there. So, what's her name? Destiny showed up first. And then Tisha and Marcel showed up next. And then Melody showed up. I was like, yes. I don't know if it was appropriate, but it was a yes for me. She looked really good. And did y'all see how Marcel was looking at Melody? He was just like, Melody got a glow. I don't think he's attracted to Melody, but I think he does have a level of respect for Melody, and whatever that is, Tisha cannot stand it. I recognize that in season 1. Even the way he speaks to Mel, when they would have meetings together without their spouses, it's on a totally different level than he would even speak to Tisha, like the respect level. So I think he has high respect for her, and I think it makes Tisha aggravated. And you could tell she was looking at him like, I'll be speaking on her glow. She come in, she sit down, she's like, hey everybody, you know, she knew she was looking good. She sit down, and then Destiny looked really good too. I liked her skirt. Once they get all of that out the way, Miss Wanda shows up a little bit later as well. And Kimmy was just like, oh, well, nice seeing you, Wanda. I'm glad Tisha and Marceau invited you. And they bring up the mommy podcast. Destiny is inviting Mel to the mommy conversation as well. And Kimmy is just like, how you inviting somebody else on her show? But Destiny's just like, I mean, we're all moms and we're all in a transition right now. Why not? I said, really, Tisha, you shouldn't even have brought up the mommy podcast at that time. But Destiny, you are wrong for trying to invite Mel over to the podcast, especially when Mel don't want to be invited. She already been on the show, and Mel's sitting over there like, please don't mention my name. And I'm sitting over there like, please don't mention her name. Destiny, why? Why did you feel the need to bring it up? You already tried with Tisha at the hair store. Don't bring it up no more, because it's just going to turn into a mess. I was really glad that Mel didn't take the bait when Tisha was just like, well, I don't really know how Mel feels, and it seems like every time I'm involved with Mel, it goes left, or something along those lines. She didn't say that exactly, but something along those lines. And I'm really glad Mel didn't respond, because it would have just got it turned into an argument. So Martell shows up. He's late. And as soon as he get there, Mel is just like, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and leave. And I said, good. I actually was okay with her leaving. So she gets up. She's telling Kimmy goodbye. She's saying how much she appreciated being there. I didn't mention the whole celebration for Jalen and Maurice. I actually thought that was very sweet for her to honor them. But we talking about the drama right now, so there's that. Mel get up. She leave. And she's trying to leave. Destiny's gonna walk her out. Here come Miss Wanda. Mel, you leaving? Hold on. I just got here. She said, well, I've been here for a while, Miss Wanda. So she's just like, hold on, I want to talk to her. But you know, Wanda got her mic on. So she thinks she whispering and having a personal conversation with Mel. But everybody can hear it because she got on her mic. So she go over there and she just like, listen, there is somebody better out there for you. There is somebody better for you. Here come Martell. I mean, when I tell you this, I would get up and show y'all, but I got on some shorts. I don't want to be showing all my business. But I tell you, he got up and ran over there to say something to Miss Wanda. I mean, he got up so quick. It was like a fire lit up under him. He goes over there and he is on Miss Wanda. I don't think he touched her. I think that was Destiny's hand that I saw. But I was just like, what? This woman, now Miss Wanda's an old, she look good, but we know Miss Wanda is older. And yes, she is talking trash, but Martella, just stay over there at your seat. Don't even come over there messing with this woman who has had years worth of updos. Anybody still wearing them kind of updos at this time, you know they finna turn up with you. So Miss Wanda didn't disappoint. She just like, you need to get up out my face. I'm talking to her. Well, yeah, what about my kids? What about my kids? Or what about what you said about my daughters? What about what you said about my daughters? Martella is all up in her face. I mean, y'all, he here with it. You know, he all up on her. And Miss Wanda's just like, I'm not even talking to you. Melody wants to leave. She doesn't want to talk to anybody, and I'm glad she wants to leave. Destiny is just like, okay, let's stop. Miss Wanda, go back in there and join the party. And Melody says, go back in there and join the party. Miss Wanda, please, thank you. I'm good. So they go off. Destiny is still standing in between them, and she even warned. I like when she gave Martella the warning. She was just like, look, now I'm about to push you, okay? I need you to go back in the restaurant. I understand she is out of pocket, but you got to control yourself better than that. And you do, you know, especially now. You out there rolling up on some woman. It's a bunch of people involved. You know somebody will be quick to pick up that phone. Just back it up. And it's Wanda. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what Wanda do. So Tisha just like, is that my mom? Like, it's some drama. Let me go check on my mom. Marceau is just like, well, let me get some popcorn and I guess I'll go check and see what's going on too. And she is trying to get Miss Wanda from going to talk to Melody. She was like, leave her alone. You are not her mother. I said, oh, are you jealous? Was that a little jealousy I heard in your throat, Tisha? I hope not. I don't think so. But she was just like, Mom, come back. Quit trying to talk to Melody. And she did need to quit trying to talk to Melody because Melody was ready to go. It doesn't matter what Miss Wanda says. She doesn't need Miss Wanda to give her words of encouragement. I understand what Wanda was trying to do, but it's okay, Wanda. Thank you. I got you. Please let me leave this place and not embarrass the Jalen who is sitting at the table with his family. And Kimmy is just like, we could have done this at home. I said, I know that's right, girl. Just have some family and friends. Me, your family and friends. Maurice, Monster. Let's just do something at the house because my colleagues don't really know how to act like that. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode. Let me know what you thought about the conversation with Jalen and Maurice. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I am not saying that I believe that he should struggle. I don't think that he should struggle, but I do believe that he has to put some work in to what he wants. And before we go comparing ourselves to other communities, let's remember that these other communities have a different type of standard and a different type of way of going about it. And while I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that paying for your children's education is necessarily spoiling them. He has been afforded an opportunity that a lot of people do not have. So that's all I'm saying. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode, and I will talk to y'all for the next one. Bye.